Part 1. The Whisper of Effort, a Japanese secret to inner strength. In the quiet corners of the world, where ancient wisdom still breathes in the rustle of bamboo leaves and the gentle chime of a distant temple bell, there exists a sound. It is not a word spoken loudly, nor a command shouted from a mountaintop. It is a whisper, a soft, internal echo that has guided generations through moments of trial and triumph. This is the sound of Ganbatte, a Japanese concept that holds within it a profound secret to unlocking our own inner strength. We often stand at the precipice of a great challenge, an exam, a difficult conversation, a creative endeavour that feels impossibly large. In these moments, our culture teaches us to hope for the best, to cross our fingers and wish for good luck. We place our faith in the hands of fortune, in a benevolent twist of fate. But what if the greatest power we have isn't found in chance, but in our own resolve? In Japan, when a loved one faces such a moment, you don't wish them luck, you say, Ganbatte. It translates simply to, do your best, but its soul is infinitely deeper. It is a recognition of human agency. It is a transfer of power from the whimsical hands of fate directly into the heart of the individual. Good luck suggests that the outcome is beyond our control. Ganbatte declares that the journey, the effort, the very act of trying, that is where our control truly lies. That is where our strength is forged. This whisper of effort is not a guarantee of success. It does not promise that the path will be easy or that you'll reach your desired destination without struggle. In fact, it embraces the possibility of failure. It understands that some things are beyond our influence, the storm that arrives unannounced, the decision of another, the simple, unchangeable realities of life. This is the quiet wisdom of wabi-sabi, the art of finding beauty in imperfection. Ganbatte lives in this space. It tells us, pour your entire self into this moment. Hold nothing back, and if the result is not what you hoped for, there is no shame, there is no regret, for you will know in the deepest part of your being that you did everything you could. Imagine a potter, hands covered in clay, patiently shaping a vessel on a spinning wheel. Her focus is not solely on the finished pot, but on the pressure of her fingers, the rhythm of the wheel, the gentle guidance that transforms a lump of earth into something with form and purpose. She practices Ganbatte with every spin, or think of the lone musician practicing a single, difficult passage for hours in a silent room. The applause may never come, but the mastery, the connection between soul and instrument, that is the reward. The effort itself becomes a sacred act. This is the secret to inner strength that Ganbatte offers. It is a strength that is not dependent on praise or victory. It is self-sustaining, resilient, and deeply personal. It is the quiet confidence that blossoms from knowing you have honored your own potential. When you live with the spirit of Ganbatte, you are no longer a passive observer in your own life, hoping for the winds to blow in your favor. You become the sailor who, while unable to control the storm, can master the art of adjusting the sails. This philosophy is woven into the fabric of daily life in Japan. It's in the morning farewell to a family member heading to work or school. It's in the cheer for an athlete pushing past exhaustion. It is a quiet, constant reminder that our value is not measured in our achievements, but in our persistence. So, as we begin this journey into the heart of inner strength, let this first whisper settle within you, the whisper of effort. It invites you not to a life free of challenges, but to a life free of regret. It asks you to turn inward, to find that wellspring of determination that exists in us all, and to make a simple, profound promise to yourself, to always, and in all things, do your very best. The rest is just the unfolding of life. Part 2, Beyond. Good luck, embracing the gentle power of Ganbatte. How many times have we stood at a threshold, a moment of transition, and heard the familiar, well-intentioned phrase, good luck? It hangs in the air between us, a delicate offering, a hopeful wish cast into the universe. We say it to friends before an interview, to children before a performance, to ourselves as we embark on something new and uncertain. It is a cultural shorthand for, "I hope things turn out well for you," a recognition that some element of our destiny lies in the hands of chance. But there is a profound limitation to this idea. To wish for luck is to tacitly admit that we are, in some way, powerless. It is to look up at the vast indifferent sky and hope that the stars align in our favour. We become sailors waiting for a favourable wind, rather than learning to navigate the currents we are given. This is where the path of Ganbatte diverges, leading us toward a different kind of strength, not a force of nature, but a quiet, internal fire. To move beyond good luck is to embrace the gentle power of Ganbatte. It is a subtle but revolutionary shift in perspective. When we tell someone Ganbatte, we are not expressing a passive hope for a positive outcome. We are actively acknowledging their capacity, their spirit, their effort. We are saying, "I see the strength within you. I have faith not in fortune, but in your ability to persevere. The power to navigate this moment resides within you." It transforms the speaker from a mere well-wisher into a witness of the other's potential. This power is gentle because it does not demand victory. It is not a harsh command to succeed at all costs. Instead, it is a soft-spoken encouragement that honours the struggle itself. It understands that true strength isn't always loud or triumphant. Sometimes it is the quiet resolve to continue when you feel like stopping. It is the artist who paints another stroke on a canvas that may never be seen. It is the student who reads one more page, even when their eyes are heavy with sleep. It is the gardener who gently tends to a seedling, not knowing if it will survive the winter, but giving it every chance to thrive. The gentle power of Ganbatte is the power of presence. It is about being fully engaged in the process, finding meaning not in the destination, but in the steps taken to get there. Good luck focuses our minds on a future event. The result, the verdict, the finish line. Ganbatte brings us back to the present moment, to the single breath, the single movement, the single choice that is right in front of us. It tells us that this moment of trying, is where life is truly lived. Think of it this way. Luck is an external force, something that happens to you. Ganbatte is an internal one, something that flows from you. It is the courage to show up, fully and completely, without any guarantee of the outcome. It is the profound understanding that your effort has intrinsic value, independent of any external validation. Whether you win or lose, succeed or fail, the dignity lies in having given your all. Embracing this philosophy is liberating. It frees us from the anxiety of the unknown and the crushing weight of expectation. When our focus shifts from controlling the outcome to controlling our effort, we reclaim our agency. We are no longer defined by our trophies or our failures, but by our resilience, our heart, and our unwavering commitment to our own journey. So the next time you stand before a challenge, listen closely. Move past the siren song of good luck and attune your ear to a deeper melody. It is the quiet, steady rhythm of your own heart whispering a different word, a word of empowerment, a word of trust. It is the gentle power of Ganbatte, inviting you not to hope for a better future, but to build it, one heartfelt effort at a time. Part 3. The Art of Trying. How Ganbatte teaches us to find peace in persistence. In our modern world, persistence is often painted as a relentless, exhausting battle. We imagine it as a grueling climb up a steep mountain, muscles burning, breath ragged, with our eyes fixed solely on the distant, elusive peak. The act of trying becomes synonymous with struggle, a necessary hardship we must endure to achieve a goal. But what if we have been looking at it all wrong? What if trying is not a battle to be won, but an art to be practiced? What if, Within the steady rhythm of persistence, there lies not just strain, but a profound and quiet peace. This is the lesson that beats at the heart of Ganbatte. It invites us to reimagine the very nature of effort. It teaches us the art of trying, a practice where the process itself becomes a form of meditation, and persistence is the brushstroke that creates a life of meaning, regardless of the final picture. The secret to finding peace in persistence lies in a fundamental shift of focus. When our happiness is tied exclusively to an outcome, the promotion, the prize, the applause, our journey is filled with anxiety. Every step is fraught with the fear of failure. The trying becomes a tightrope walk over a chasm of disappointment. But Ganbatte gently unhooks our well-being from that external anchor. It whispers, "Give your all to the effort and let the outcome be what it will be." In that release, there is freedom. In that freedom, there is peace. Imagine a craftsman practicing kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with lacquer dusted or mixed with powdered gold. A Western eye might see the shattered bowl as a failure, something to be discarded, but the kintsugi master sees an opportunity. With immense patience and focus, they meticulously trace the lines of fracture, bonding the pieces back together. The work is slow, demanding, and requires unwavering persistence. Yet it is not a frantic effort. It is a calm, reverent act. The artist finds beauty not in hiding the cracks, but in illuminating them with gold. The persistence is not a fight against imperfection. It is a dance with it. This is the art of trying. It is understanding that our broken moments, our failures, our setbacks, our struggles are not endings. They are part of our story, and our persistent effort to learn, to heal, to continue is the golden lacquer that makes us not just whole again, but more beautiful and resilient than before. There is a deep peace in this process. The peace of knowing that nothing is wasted. The peace of transforming our own vulnerabilities into our greatest strengths. When we practice trying as an art, it ceases to be a burden. It becomes a rhythm, a steady beat that grounds us in the present moment. Each small act of persistence, writing one more sentence, taking one more step, practicing one more time, becomes a quiet victory. We are no longer chasing a distant future. We are fully inhabiting the here and now, immersed in the craft of our own lives. The external noise of expectation fades away, replaced by the internal hum of focused effort. This is the peace that Ganbatte offers. It is not the peace of inaction or the absence of challenge. It is the peace that is earned through deep engagement. It is the calm that settles over you when you know with absolute certainty that you have held nothing back. The what-ifs and if-onlys dissolve, because there is nothing more you could have done. You met the moment with all that you are. In that knowledge, the soul finds its rest, even in the midst of striving. So look at the challenges before you. See them not as mountains to be conquered, but as canvases waiting for your touch. Pick up your brush of persistence and begin the art of trying. Do not worry about creating a masterpiece. Simply lose yourself in the movement, in the colour, in the effort. For it is there, in the quiet dedication of the attempt, that you will find a peace that no outcome can ever give you, and no failure can ever take away. When the journey matters more. A lesson in courage from Ganbatte. We are a culture obsessed with destinations. From a young age, we are taught to ask, are we there yet? We measure our lives by the milestones we reach, the peaks we conquer, the finish lines we cross. The space between these points, the long, winding, often uncertain path of the journey itself, is seen as a mere inconvenience, a distance to be covered as quickly as possible. We rush through the process, our eyes fixed on the prize, and in doing so, we miss the profound beauty and wisdom the journey has to offer. Ganbatte gently calls us back to the path. It teaches us a radical idea that the journey matters more than the destination. It is a lesson not just in patience, but in courage, because to truly value the journey is to embrace the unknown. It requires the courage to walk without a map, to find meaning not in the arrival, but in the act of walking itself. What is courage? Is it the absence of fear? No, courage is feeling the fear and taking the next step anyway. It is the quiet resolve to continue when the path ahead is shrouded in fog. When you cannot see more than a few feet in front of you, this is the courage that Ganbatte cultivates. It is not the flashy bravery of a hero charging into battle, but the subtle, enduring courage of the pilgrim who trusts the path, one step at a time. When we focus only on the destination, our journey is fueled by anxiety. But when we embrace the spirit of Ganbatte, our journey is fueled by curiosity and presence. Each step becomes an opportunity for discovery. We begin to notice the small wonders we would have otherwise missed. The way the light filters through the trees, the resilience of a flower growing through a crack in the pavement, the unexpected kindness of a stranger. The journey ceases to be a means to an end. It becomes a living, breathing experience. Think of a mountaineer. Society celebrates the one who plants a flag at the summit, but the climber knows the truth. The real story is not in that single moment of triumph. It is in the thousands of moments that led to it. The pre-dawn chill, the burning in the lungs, the rhythm of the ice axe, the shared look of determination with a partner, the humbling vastness of the landscape. That is the journey. That is where character is forged. Ganbatte is the inner voice that whispers, keep climbing. Not because the summit is guaranteed, but because the act of climbing is in itself a worthy endeavour. This philosophy asks us to be brave enough to live in the questions, rather than demanding all the answers. It is the courage to start a project without knowing if it will succeed, to love without knowing if you will be hurt, to live without knowing what tomorrow will bring. It is the understanding that a life lived fully is not a life without missteps or detours. It is a life rich with the texture of experience, earned through the courage to simply keep going. Let this lesson settle in your heart. The next time you begin something new, resist the urge to look only toward the end. Instead, take a deep breath and look down at your feet. Honour the ground you stand on. This step, right here, right now, is your journey, and to take it with your whole heart, that is the only destination that truly matters. Part 5, the heart of resilience. What it truly means to say Ganbatte. Resilience, we speak of it as a form of strength, an ability to withstand pressure and bounce back from adversity. We often picture it as something rigid and unbreakable, like a diamond or a fortress wall. But this image is misleading. True resilience is not about being impervious to harm. It is not about refusing to bend. True resilience is fluid, adaptable, and alive. It is the heart of Ganbatte. To understand this, look to the bamboo forest. When a fierce wind blows, the mighty oak, rigid and proud, may crack and fall, but the bamboo, slender and humble, bends. It yields to the force of the storm, swaying with a grace that looks like surrender. Yet when the wind passes, the bamboo straightens once more, its roots still firm in the earth, its leaves rustling softly in the calm that follows. It did not break because it knew how to bend. This is the nature of resilience. When we whisper Ganbatte to ourselves or to another, we are not saying, be strong like a stone. We are saying, be resilient like the bamboo. We are acknowledging that pain, struggle and failure are inevitable winds that will blow through our lives. The goal is not to build a wall so high that the wind can never touch us. The goal is to cultivate an inner flexibility that allows us to bend without breaking and to rise again once the storm has passed. The heart of resilience is acceptance. It is the acceptance that life is imperfect, that we are imperfect. It is letting go of the expectation that we should be able to handle everything without faltering. To be resilient is to allow ourselves to feel the sting of disappointment, the ache of loss, the weariness of the struggle. It is in acknowledging these feelings, not suppressing them, that we find the strength to move through them. Saying Ganbatte is an act of profound empathy. It means, I see your struggle, I honour your effort. I am here with you in the bending, and I will be here with you when you rise. It does not offer easy solutions or false promises. It offers something far more valuable, companionship in the journey. It is a reminder that we are not alone in our vulnerability. Our capacity to endure is not a solitary burden, but a shared human experience. This resilience is not something we are born with. It is something we cultivate. We grow it with every small act of perseverance. Every time we choose to try again after a setback, we are strengthening our roots. Every time we allow ourselves to feel and then release a difficult emotion, we are becoming more flexible. Every time we offer a word of encouragement to another, we are helping both them and ourselves remember the strength in yielding. So when the winds of life blow hard against you, do not mistake rigidity for strength. Remember the bamboo. Allow yourself to bend. Feel the force of the moment and trust in your ability to find your center again. This is the heart of resilience. It is the quiet, enduring power that Ganbatte awakens within us. The power not just to survive the storm, but to emerge from it with grace, wisdom, and an even deeper connection to the earth beneath our feet. Part 6. Letting go of the outcome. The beautiful freedom of doing your best. We live our lives tethered to the future. Our minds are constantly projecting forward, envisioning scenarios, calculating risks, and above all, attaching our happiness to specific outcomes. I will be happy when I get the job. I will feel at peace when this project is finished. My life will be complete when I find a partner. These outcomes become invisible cages. We pace within their confines, our present moment held hostage by a future that may or may not arrive. The pursuit of these outcomes is exhausting. It fills us with a low-grade, persistent anxiety, the fear that our efforts will be in vain, that the future we have so carefully constructed in our minds will not materialize. We become strategic, calculating. Our actions are no longer expressions of who we are, but moves in a complex game we are desperately trying to win. Ganbatte offers us a key to this cage. It invites us into a radical and beautiful freedom, the freedom of letting go of the outcome. This is not an invitation to apathy or indifference. It is the exact opposite. It is an invitation to engage with our lives more fully, more authentically than ever before. It is the freedom that comes from realizing that the only thing we can truly control is our own effort. To let go of the outcome is to shift your entire center of gravity. You are no longer leaning precariously into the future. You are standing firm, balanced, and present in the now. The question ceases to be, what will I get from this? And becomes, what can I give to this? The focus moves from acquisition to offering, and in this shift everything changes. Imagine an archer. If her mind is consumed with hitting the bullseye, her muscles will tense, her breath will become shallow, her focus will waver. The desperation to succeed becomes the very thing that prevents it. But the master archer, the one who embodies Ganbatte, knows a different way. She focuses not on the target, but on the process, on the feel of the bow in her hand, on the smooth, steady pull of the string, on the controlled release of her breath. She gives her entire being to the art of the shot. Whether the arrow hits the bullseye or not is secondary. The true success has already occurred in the flawless execution of her effort. She is free, free from the tyranny of the target, free to be fully present in her art. This is the beautiful freedom of doing your best. When you let go of the outcome, you give yourself permission to be human. You give yourself permission to experiment, to play, to fail, and to learn. The fear of not being good enough dissolves because your worth is no longer tied to the result. It is rooted in the integrity of your attempt. You can write, paint, sing, build, love and live with an open heart, because the effort itself is the reward. This is one of the most profound gifts of Ganbatte. It does not promise you the world, it gives you something far more precious. It gives you back to yourself. It untethers you from the future and plants you firmly in the rich, fertile soil of the present moment. It allows you to act not out of fear or ambition, but out of a deep, abiding commitment to giving your all. And in that commitment, you will find a freedom so light, so expansive. It feels like learning to fly. Part 7, A Promise to Your Soul, the enduring spirit of Ganbatte. There are promises we make to others, to a partner, a child, a friend. We seal them with words, with handshakes, with our presence. But there are other promises, quieter and more sacred, that we must make to ourselves. These are not vows of achievement or pledges of perfection. They are promises of a different nature, made in the silent sanctuary of our own hearts. They are promises to the soul. The enduring spirit of Ganbatte is, at its core, one such promise. It is the solemn vow to honour the potential that resides within you. It is the pledge to never turn your back on your own capacity for effort, for growth, for resilience. It is a promise to show up for your own life, fully and without reservation, regardless of the circumstances. This promise is not about ego or ambition. It is about integrity. Your soul does not ask you to be the best in the world. It does not demand trophies, accolades, or external validation. It asks only one thing, that you try, that you engage with the gifts you have been given, your mind, your body, your creativity, your compassion, and use them to the best of your ability, to give up, to shrink from a challenge out of fear, to offer only a half-hearted effort. This is a quiet betrayal of that sacred trust. To live with the spirit of Ganbatte is to live in alignment with this promise. It means that when you wake up in the morning, you greet the day not with a sigh of obligation, but with a sense of purpose. The purpose is not to conquer the day, but to meet it with your fullest self. Every task, whether monumental or mundane, becomes an opportunity to honour this commitment. Washing the dishes, writing a report, listening to a friend, facing a difficult truth, each is a chance to say to your soul, I am here, I am trying, I am engaged. This promise becomes an anchor in the turbulent seas of life. When external circumstances are chaotic, when the world feels unpredictable and harsh, this internal commitment remains a source of stability and strength. Praise from others may fade, success may prove fleeting, and failure may sting. But the quiet satisfaction of knowing you have kept your promise to yourself, that is a source of peace that cannot be taken away. Think of it as tending to an inner flame. Every time you choose to persevere, every time you push through discomfort, every time you offer your best effort, even when no one is watching, you are adding fuel to that fire. You are keeping your own spirit alive and bright. This is not a grand, heroic gesture. It is a daily practice, a series of small conscious choices that, over time, forge an unbreakable sense of self-respect. The enduring spirit of Ganbatte is a lifelong companion. It walks with you through triumph and sorrow, through certainty and doubt. It is the quiet voice that reminds you of your own strength when you feel weak. It is the gentle hand that lifts you up when you fall. It is the unwavering belief in your own capacity to endure and to grow. Make this promise to your soul today. Whisper it in the quiet of the morning, reaffirm it in the challenges of the day, and rest in its peace at night. Promise that you will do your best, not for anyone else, not for any prize, but for the simple, profound honour of being true to the spirit within you. Part 8. Finding victory in the effort, not the prize. Our world has a very clear definition of victory. It is a tangible thing. It is the gold medal, the diploma on the wall, the name at the top of the list, the number in the bank account. It is a prize. It is something external that we can hold up to the world and say, "I won." We chase these prizes with relentless energy, believing that in capturing them, we will capture happiness, fulfillment, and worth. But this definition of victory is a fragile one. Prizes can be lost, stolen, or surpassed. Records can be broken. The applause eventually fades. If our sense of victory is tied only to these external markers, we are setting ourselves up for a life of perpetual anxiety, constantly striving for the next prize to validate our existence. Ganbatte offers a more profound, more resilient, and more personal definition of victory. It teaches us to find victory not in the prize, but in the effort. The true win is not crossing the finish line first. The true win is the moment, halfway through the race, when every muscle is screaming for you to stop, but you decide to take one more step. The victory is not the published novel. It is the quiet morning when you faced a blank page, filled with doubt, and wrote a single, honest sentence. This is an internal victory. It is unseen by the world. There is no medal for it. There is no applause, but it is the only victory that truly matters, because it is the only one that builds you from the inside out. Each time you win this internal battle, the battle against apathy, against fear, against the desire to quit, you become stronger, more capable, more you. Prizes are outcomes. They are often influenced by factors beyond our control: luck, timing, the performance of others, but effort, that is entirely our own. It is our domain, and to claim victory in the realm of effort is to reclaim our power. It is to declare that our worth is not determined by the judgment of others, but by the quality of our own engagement with life. When you shift your focus to finding victory in the effort, your relationship with challenges changes completely. A difficult task is no longer a threat, a potential source of failure and shame. It becomes an opportunity. It is an arena where you can practice your own resolve, test your own limits, and experience the quiet, powerful thrill of giving your all. The possibility of losing, in the conventional sense, becomes irrelevant, because you know that by simply engaging with your full heart, you have already won the only victory that can't be taken away. Think of the journey of your life. Will you measure it by the collection of prizes you accumulate, or will you measure it by the richness of the effort you invested? Will you remember the trophies on the shelf, or will you remember the feeling of your heart pounding with exertion and purpose? Ganbatte invites you to become a collector of moments, not objects. Collect the moments of courage, of persistence, of quiet determination. These are your true victories. They are the moments that shape your character, define your spirit, and build a legacy of strength that will sustain you long after the prizes have gathered dust. Look for your victory today, not in the distant future, but in the very next challenge that asks you to do your best. Part 9. Ganbatte. The Japanese philosophy for a life without regret. There is a unique and heavy burden that many of us carry, often silently, through our lives. It is the weight of regret. It is the ghost of the unspoken word, the shadow of the untaken path, the echo of the chance we let slip away. Regret is the painful awareness that we could have done more, tried harder, been braver. It is the ache of what if. This feeling doesn't come from failure. We can fail spectacularly and feel a sense of pride if we know we gave it our all. Regret is born not from the attempt that failed, but from the attempt that was never made. It is the child of inaction, hesitation, and fear. It is the rust that corrodes the soul when we allow our potential to lie dormant. Ganbatte is a powerful antidote to this poison. It is a philosophy for living a life that, when you look back upon it, will be free from the heavy chains of regret. It does not promise a life without mistakes or sorrow. It promises something far more valuable, a life without the haunting feeling that you did not truly live it. How does it achieve this? By focusing on the present moment as the only place where regret can be prevented. Regret is a ghost from the past, but its seed is planted in the present every time we choose to hold back. Every time we say, "I'm too tired," "I'm not good enough," or "I'll do it tomorrow," we are planting a potential regret. The practice of Ganbatte is the practice of consistently showing up for the present moment. It is the conscious choice to invest your effort now, so that your future self can look back with peace, not longing. It is the understanding that the pain of effort is temporary, but the pain of regret can last a lifetime. Living the Ganbatte way means you face the difficult conversation, even if your voice shakes. You apply for the job, even if you feel unqualified. You start the creative project, even if you have no idea where it will lead. You forgive, even when it's hard. You try and try again. You do this not because you're guaranteed a positive outcome, but because you're committed to honoring the opportunity of the moment. You are committed to not betraying your future self. Imagine yourself years from now, looking back on the life you're living today. What stories do you want to be able to tell? Will they be stories of caution and missed chances, or will they be stories of heartfelt effort, of courage, of engagement? Will you be haunted by the spectre of the person you could have been, or will you be at peace knowing that you lived fully, loved deeply, and tried with everything you had? This is the choice that Ganbatte places before us every single day. It is a philosophy that is both demanding and deeply compassionate. It demands our best effort, but it forgives our imperfect results. It asks us to live with a forward-looking integrity, making choices in the present that will be a gift to our future. Let go of the fear of failure and embrace the fear of regret. Let that be your guide. In every moment of choice, ask yourself, if I hold back now, will I regret it later? Let the answer fuel you. Pour your heart into the now, do your best, and you will build a past that you can look back on, not with longing, but with the quiet, profound peace of a life fully lived. Part 10. Echoes of Encouragement. Living the Ganbatte way. We have journeyed through the many rooms of Ganbatte. We have explored its whispers of effort, its gentle power, its lessons in courage, resilience, and freedom. We have seen it as an art, a promise, and a path to a life without regret. Now we arrive at the final, most vital question. How do we live this? How do we take this beautiful philosophy off the page and weave it into the fabric of our daily lives? The answer is found in echoes. Living the Ganbatte way is about creating echoes of encouragement, first within ourselves, and then allowing them to ripple outward into the world. It begins with the inner voice. For many of us, that voice is a harsh critic, quick to point out our flaws and predict our failures. The first step in living the Ganbatte way is to transform this inner critic into an inner coach. It is to learn to speak to yourself with the same gentle, unwavering encouragement you would offer to a beloved friend. When you wake up facing a difficult day, instead of "I can't do this," you learn to whisper, "Let's do our best today." When you make a mistake, instead of "I'm a failure," you say, "I did my best and I learned something." This is not an act of delusion, it is an act of profound self-compassion and empowerment. Once this inner echo of encouragement becomes your default setting, it will naturally begin to resonate outward. You will find yourself becoming a source of this gentle strength for others. When a colleague is struggling with a project, you will not just wish them luck. You will say, "I believe in your effort, you've got this, Ganbatte." When your child is nervous about a game, you will not focus on winning. You will praise their dedication in practicing, reminding them that their effort is what makes you proud. These are not empty platitudes, they are powerful affirmations of human potential. To offer a genuine Ganbatte to another person is to see beyond their fear and to reflect their own strength back at them. You become a mirror, showing them the resilience and capability they may have forgotten they possess. You create a space where it is safe to try and safe to fail, because the effort is what is celebrated. Living the Ganbatte way means creating a culture of encouragement around you. In your family, in your workplace, in your community, it is about celebrating the process, not just the product. It is about honoring persistence in the face of setbacks. It is about building relationships based on mutual support and a shared belief in the power of trying. These echoes have a cumulative effect. One person's encouragement inspires another's effort, which in turn inspires another's encouragement. A quiet revolution of the spirit begins to unfold. The world starts to feel less like a competitive arena and more like a shared journey, where we are all in our own unique ways, simply doing our best. This is the ultimate legacy of Ganbatte. It is a philosophy that not only strengthens the individual, but also heals the collective. It reminds us that we are connected, not by our achievements, but by our shared, beautiful, and courageous struggle to live with purpose and heart. So let it begin with you today. Start with a single quiet whisper to yourself. Then let it echo. Let it become the way you move through the world. Live it, breathe it, share it, and become a part of the enduring, encouraging chorus of humanity, simply doing its best.